What's up, you guys? So this video is about my Quadruple Longslide 1911 in 3 calibers. I get a lot of questions about how I use the same frame for multiple uppers and multiple calibers. So I want to go over that in this video. And real quick, I just wanted to make, originally this 1911 was just for this 7-inch long slide. This is an AMT long slide from Terminator, and I had it Cerakoted to match the frame. And it has a 9-inch extended barrel right now, and I'm still working on a compensator, a clamp-on compensator, to go on the end of that, and it'll extend even farther. And I went ahead and said, you know what, maybe I'll just make another upper, and one thing led to another, and I just ended up with a quadruple longside setup. So this first one is, have you seen this in another video? This is the Marvel 6-inch long slide with a steel compensator, and I actually machined a fiber optic front sight. Before it was just solid iron, right? And it's flawless. Fired it today, it was great. The second one was a Caspian slide, and in 38 Super 9mm, and I had it machined. So I opened up some slide lightning to make it cycle more reliably, and it has a 7-inch long slide, and so you have 1 inch sticking out the front. And this thing is just super accurate, and it has a Sprinco system inside. This next one is a Springfield trophy match, and 6-inch 45 ACP, and shot this today. It was great, and I'm probably going to be milling a fiber optic front sight as well into this one, and I'll do the same thing to the AMT. So let me go over kind of how we can set up a 1911 to accept multiple uppers and multiple calibers and stuff like that. All right, so let me just pop out the slide stop, and this is the Nitro fin slide stop, which I love. I got it on almost all of my 2011 1911s. All right, so the trick, if you notice this ejector, it's just a tiny bit longer, right? A tiny bit more extended than a 45 ACP, which is pretty flush. Okay, so this ejector right here is just a little bit extended, and if you turn and look at it, it's actually a little bit wider as well than a normal 45 ACP. Okay, so the 45 ACP is a little bit, or is wider, right, than the 9mm, and so it doesn't have to go inwards as much or go towards the center as much. So what you do is you want to get an oversized 38 Super 10mm 40 Smith & Wesson ejector, and then you tune it to fit each upper. So I've tuned it, basically file and sanding and dremeling, to make it fit each upper. So it fits the AMT, which is the 45. It fits all the 45s, the 9 and the 22, obviously. So, you know, it can reliably shoot any of those calibers. And I'm going to put the 9 on right now. You can see that originally it didn't fit the 9, and I had to tune it to fit the 9, right? So now it's totally mated, and cycles great, ejects great. So the first trick is that, right? You got to have a reliable ejector that's tuned to fit all the different uppers that you want to put on your 1911 frame. Okay, sorry, I got to balance this. It's longer than this stand is accustomed to. So the other part is your hammer spring. Okay, your hammer spring, if you're just shooting 45, you know, you can get by with maybe something as light as 16 pounds, right? Or 17 pounds is what I usually use. With 9, you can get away with something as light as 15 pounds, which is what I've been using here and there, but it doesn't set off all the primers. Now with 22 though, you're going to want something that's at least 18 pounds. And I mean, I've tried 15, 16, 17 is like hit or miss. 18 is pretty spot on. I haven't had a misfire yet or a light strike. 19, you're for sure you're gonna set off all rimfire. But I've settled on 18. It's a good in between that will, you know, help cycle 9 reliably, 22 and 45. So that's the other thing. Your hammer spring has to be tuned to set off all these different calibers. And then last, the recoil spring, which is just going to be dependent upon the heaviness of your slide. So this 9 slide, which I lightened, it was 6-inch long slide, so it's a lot of steel. It's heavy. I have a 9 or 10 pound variable spring in that. In my 45, I have, I think, a 14-pound variable spring. In the AMT 7-inch, I actually have a 16-pound because it takes a little more muscle to push that big slide forward. And then on the 22, I think it just comes stock with a 9-pound. So that's pretty much it. That's what you need to do to fully tune your 1911 to handle multiple uppers and multiple calibers. And once you do, it's great. I mean, I've always wanted to be more resourceful and bring less gear to the range, and I just shoot 9 and 45 and load those 2 calibers primarily, and I shoot 22. So that's pretty much it. This is how you can get a triple caliber and quadruple upper, long slide, or whatever regular government length setup on your 1911. All right, so here's the range report and proof that this frame can handle multiple uppers. This is the Marvel 6-inch 22 long rifle alongside, and cycling great, shooting CCI mini mags, and yeah, I really like the Marvel. The Marvel's super accurate. It has a steel compensator on the front, so there's some added weight, and it does have lockback, so that's great. All right, this next one is the 6-inch 9mm long slide, and it has some slide lightening. I did have some failures to cycle before, and the slide was just too heavy, so doing the slide lightening helped a lot, and it's great, super accurate. The fiber optic front works fantastic, and rear adjustable LPA also works well. Didn't have to adjust it much. It actually likes really low sight point of view, and still cycling. I'm breaking this gun in, so I wanted to go through as many mags as I could. And lastly, this is the Springfield 6-inch long slide, and this thing's a beast. I mean, it's heavy, but the 45 ACP is pushing it back. It's enough muscle to push the slide back and eject the rounds. And as you can see, it's all cycling. I mean, the ejector is really what makes the difference. The ejector is working for all the calibers, and yeah, I just love this 1911. It's definitely my favorite 1911 I've ever had, just because it's very flexible and has a really good grip, really good feel. These skeleton grips just glue to my hand, and the front strap skeleton, I guess, frame lightening really helps as well. So yeah, all around, it's really nice having a multi-upper, multi-caliber pistol. Less to bring to the range. I just have to bring a frame, and I carry all the slides in their own little carrying case. If you need any pointers on how to get those, let me know. All right, take care.